The science is getting corrupted a little bit because ideas and the empirical evidence is not being put to a test. It's not like people are just not questioning things. They're not being able to debate them openly. My name is Smriti Mehta. I'm a postdoctoral scholar at the Berkeley School of Education at UC Berkeley. The ideas that are causing threats to academic inquiry and academic freedom originate in psychology, right? A lot of things like, I just gave a talk on microaggressions, that comes from psychology. You have a lot of ideas around, stereotyping and prejudice and things along those lines. And I think that does create an environment where having just open, critical discussions become really hard. Because if you think of disagreements as personal attacks, right? I think people sometimes conflate disagreeing with just being disagreeable. And if you're trying to weed out people who are just maybe disagreeable, but they're not wrong, and then you are not able to engage, I think, openly in a critical discussion of ideas. There's issues around being sensitive to people's psychological needs, which is really a big focus in the academy right now, right? We have like safe spaces and microaggression trainings, and you cannot offend anybody and you cannot hurt anybody, right? It's this idea, again, a lot of that does come from sort of clinical psychology of focusing on people's psychological needs, which again is important, but I think it's just gone a little bit too far, and I think psychology is to blame. Even though we do have academic freedom and people are free in theory to choose to study whatever they want and to be able to do it, there are a lot of pressures at a lot of different levels that still do not, where the realization of that real academic freedom is still limited, right? We are limited by where funding comes from, right? If there are certain pressures of things that are being funded or certain proposals that will definitely not get funded, it creates this mechanism where I think people coming into the discipline are shy away from certain questions and certain lines of research because they know that it will not be accepted that well. I've, of course, heard about Heterodox Academy. Jonathan Haidt is, another psychologist, the Calling of the American Mind. So I was aware of Heterodox Academy for a while, and then a couple of years ago, this is the time when I was a graduate student in the psych department, my colleague, Everett Weschler, who said there was a call for Heterodox Academy to start these campus communities, and we both agreed that this was something that was much needed on our campus because the values that I think Heterodox Academy stands for are so much needed on a campus like Berkeley. And right, a lot of people sort of would agree on things, but they're just so scared to speak out against them. For example, a lot of DEI policies, let's say, if they disagree with them, they just can't speak out. And I think what HxA does, it certainly gave us a lot of, just moral support, I think, is a big one, right? Just knowing that there's an institution that's backing you up where you feel like you can speak up about things where somebody needs to speak up and it's just not happening. So definitely done that for us, and I think having this presence on campus also means that other people feel the same way, right? It gives us a community where we can band together and we know that, we're not crazy. Like this is, things are going on campus that we don't agree with, and it just gives us all like a shared voice and just a space to be able to talk about these things and discuss things, actually have constructive dialogues. My name is Smriti Mehta and I'm HxA.